Welcome to the Learn and Talk English podcast.
We are so glad you are here with us today.
Yeah, we really are. And on this channel, Learn and Talk English, we are providing high-quality educational material to help you speak with confidence.
Exactly. We want you to feel totally comfortable, when you speak.
So I want to start by asking you, the listener, a very honest question. And I want you to really think about your answer.
Go ahead.
When you look at the English language, do you feel overwhelmed?
Oh, that is a huge question.
Right. Do you feel like you need to learn 10,000 difficult words just to be respected?
I think a lot of adult learners feel that exact same way.
Yeah, they feel exhausted before they even open a book,
Yeah.
Because the task just feels impossibly large.
It is incredibly normal to feel that mental weight. When we look at a new language, our brain naturally calculates the size of the challenge.
Like looking at a huge mountain.
Right, exactly. But I have some wonderful, liberating news for you today. You absolutely do not need to memorize a dictionary.
Wait, really? Not at all.
Not at all. You do not need to learn thousands of complicated academic words to survive and thrive.
Wow, okay. That is a relief.
It really is. The real secret to fluent, confident English relies on a surprisingly small, highly active number of words.
So once you realize how few words you actually need, your entire mindset changes.
It does. The anxiety begins to melt away. Learning English transforms from a heavy burden into a daily joy.
I love that shift in perspective, and that is exactly what we are going to explore today.
Yes, we are.
We're going to show you how to master a core foundation of just 300 to 1,000 words.
We will explore the actual science of how your brain learns a language.
And we will break down the psychology of why we feel anxious.
And most importantly, we will build a practical daily routine that you can start today.
Because we want this to be effective, I invite you to just take a deep breath.
Yeah, just drop your shoulders. Assure yourself that this conversation will be steady, clear, and easy to follow.
We are acting as your professional English teachers today, and we're going to take our time to explain the why and the how behind everything.
You do not need to rush. Whether you are listening to us on a long 8-hour flight or sitting quietly in your living room, just relax and absorb the concepts.
So let us jump right into the data because the numbers are fascinating.
They really are.
We often talk about quality over quantity. It is not about how many words you possess. It is about how much work those words can do for you.
Right, the hardworking words.
Tell me about the actual statistics regarding everyday English vocabulary. Like, how do linguists even know how many words we use?
That is a great question. Linguists do not just guess. They study what we call corpus data.
Corpus data.
Yeah, a corpus is a massive collection of real spoken language. They record thousands of hours of real phone calls, conversations in coffee shops, and meetings in office buildings.
Oh, wow. Just recording everyday life.
Exactly. Then they feed all this spoken data into computers to analyze the frequency of the words. And the results are staggering.
What do they show?
Research shows that just 300 of the most common English words make up 75% of all daily conversations.
Wait, let me make sure I am hearing that correctly.
Sure.
Out of the hundreds of thousands of words in the English language, just 300 words are doing 75% of the work.
Exactly. 300 words carry 75% of the communication. And it gets even better.
How so?
If you learn around 1,000 of these high-frequency words, you can understand and participate in 95% of normal daily conversations.
95%.
Yes. Think about the freedom in that statement. 95% of your day going to the store, talking to your coworkers, ordering food, chatting with a neighbor requires only 1,000 words.
That is a massive relief. It completely destroys the myth that you need to sound like an academic professor to be understood.
Right. You do not need 10,000 words to go to the grocery store.
But having a list of 1,000 words is one thing. Actually speaking them is another.
That is the tricky part, yes.
I like to think about it using a physical analogy. Imagine you want to build a beautiful wooden house.
Okay. Wooden house.
So you go to the hardware store and you buy a giant, heavy toolbox. You spend a fortune on it.
A very expensive toolbox.
Right. Inside, you have thousands of different specialized tools. But here's the problem.
What is it?
If you do not know how to swing the hammer with the right rhythm, or if you do not know how to cut the wood safely with the saw, that heavy toolbox is completely useless.
Yeah. The tools just sit there.
Exactly. Knowing thousands of English words in your head, but not being able to use them in a live conversation is exactly like owning that giant toolbox.
You have the inventory, but you have no idea how to build a sentence with it.
That is exactly it.
That is a brilliant way to visualize the problem. A vocabulary list is just inventory. It's not communication.
Right.
Our goal is not to see how many tools you can collect. Our goal is to teach you how to become an expert with the hammer and the saw.
So we need to transition from simply knowing a word to deeply owning a word.
Yes.
What is the mechanical difference between knowing and owning?
Knowing a word is passive. It means if you see the word printed on a piece of paper, you can translate it into your native language.
Like taking a test.
Exactly. But owning a word is active. Owning a word means it lives in your muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
Yes. When you are speaking, the word appears in your mouth naturally, automatically, without you having to pause and search your brain for a translation.
Let us give our listeners a concrete example of this. I want to look at one of the most common, hardest working words in the English language.
Which one?
The word get.
Yeah.
G-E.
Oh, yes. Get.
Almost everyone who studies English learns the word get on their very first day. It seems so basic.
It seems basic, but it is actually a powerhouse. Native speakers use the word get constantly because it represents a change of state or an acquisition.
Right.
Instead of using highly formal verbs, we just used get paired with different prepositions. Let us practice a few of these combinations.
I love active practice.
I will explain the context, and I invite you, the listener, to say the phrase out loud right where you are.
Let us look at the morning routine.
The first phrase is get up. This does not just mean opening your eyes. It means physically rising and leaving your bed to start your day.
Right. Getting out of bed.
Instead of saying, I send for my mattress, we say, I get up at 7. Try saying that with us out loud. Get up.
Get up. Take your time and say it. Get up.
Very good.
Once you are up, you need to prepare for the world.
Exactly. We use the phrase get ready. This covers everything. Taking a shower, brushing your teeth, putting on your clothes.
It is the whole process of preparation.
Right. I need an hour to get ready. Say it out loud. Get ready.
Get ready. Say it naturally. Get ready.
Excellent.
What happens at the end of a very long, difficult workday?
You experience a change in your physical energy. We say you get tired.
Get tired.
Instead of saying, my energy depletes, we simply say, I get tired.
Yeah?
Try saying it. Get tired.
Get tired. You try it. Get tired. Now, let us imagine you are traveling in a brand new city. You take the wrong bus, the streets look unfamiliar, and your map application is not working.
You get lost. This is a very important survival phrase.
Oh,
It
definitely.
means you have lost your sense of direction. If I do not use a map, I always get lost. Say it out loud with confidence. Get lost.
Get lost. Try to say it out loud. Get lost.
Right.
What if a friend of yours is sick in bed with a terrible cold and you want to wish them a fast recovery?
You tell them to get better. This means a change from sickness back to health.
Get better.
Please drink some tea and get better soon. Try saying it naturally. Get better.
Get better. Speak it out loud. Get better.
Good job.
And finally, let's talk about human relationships. If you have a coworker that you really enjoy talking to and you never argue with them,
Yeah.
how do you describe that?
We say you get along. It means you have a smooth, friendly relationship.
Get along.
My team is great because we all get along. Say it with us. Get along.
Get along. One more time. Get along.
Excellent practice.
This is exactly what we mean by depth instead of breadth. Look at what just happened.
Yeah, it is amazing.
We took one tiny 3-letter word get, and we explored 6 completely different human experiences.
Waking up, preparing yourself, losing energy, losing your direction, healing from an illness, and building friendships.
You do not need 6 separate, highly complicated verbs to express those ideas. You just need to deeply, truly own the word get.
Precisely. When you own the core vocabulary, you realize how flexible the English language is. You can bend simple words to express almost any concept.
Understanding this flexibility helps cure the anxiety we talked about earlier. So let us dive deeper into the psychology of language learning.
I think we should.
Why do traditional methods fail so many smart, capable adults? Let us do a visualization.
Okay, visualize this.
Imagine a traditional classroom teacher hands you a list and says, you must memorize these 5,000 words by December. How does your brain physically and emotionally react to that command?
Your brain reacts with a threat response.
A threat response, like danger.
Yes. When a human being faces a task that seems completely impossible, the brain releases stress hormones. like cortisol.
Oh, wow.
It triggers the amygdala, which is the emotional center of the brain. You feel panic.
That makes sense.
Imagine standing at the absolute bottom of a massive rocky mountain. The mountain is so tall that the peak is totally hidden by dark clouds.
Sounds terrifying.
You are standing there in the cold, and you have no ropes, no climbing shoes, and no guide. Your brain looks at that mountain and says, we are going to fail. Why even take the first step?
Just give up right there.
Exactly. This is called cognitive overload.
Yeah.
Your brain shuts down to protect you from failure.
That is exactly how I felt when I tried to learn complex grammar rules from heavy textbooks. I just wanted to close the book and watch television instead.
Right, you want to escape.
So how does focusing on just 300 to 1,000 words change this brain chemistry?
It completely removes the mountain from your vision.
Oh, so
We replaced the terrifying mountain with a beautiful, well-lit wooden staircase inside a comfortable house. You are standing at the bottom of the stairs.
okay, a staircase.
You do not need to leap to the second floor in one giant jump. Your only focus is the single, small step right in front of your shoe.
Just one step.
That one step represents your core vocabulary. It is manageable. It is safe.
And how does the brain react to that?
When your brain sees that the task is small and achievable, the cortisol drops. You relax. And here is the secret of neuroscience.
What is it?
A relaxed brain absorbs information significantly faster than a stressed brain.
I want to walk up that staircase. How do we actually do it? Let us build our practical 4-step plan for mastering this core vocabulary.
Well, let's do it.
What is the very first step a listener should take?
Step 1 is to curate your vocabulary. You must choose your core words and make them deeply personal to your specific life.
Personal words.
You can easily find a list of the 1,000 most common English words online. But you should not just read it from A to Z. You must filter those words through your own identity.
Why is that important?
The psychological concept here is called the self-reference effect. Our brains are wired to remember information that directly relates to our own survival, our own jobs, and our own emotions.
Let me illustrate how the self-reference effect works in practice. Imagine 2 different English learners.
Yeah.
Learner A is a 20-year-old university student studying architecture. Learner B is a 40-year-old nurse working in a busy hospital. Should they be studying the exact same vocabulary list?
Absolutely not. Their daily realities are entirely different.
Right.
The architecture student needs to deeply own words related to their environment, homework, assignment, design, library, deadline, professor. Those words carry emotional weight for the student.
But the nurse does not need those words.
No, the nurse does not need the word professor for daily survival. The nurse needs words like patient, medicine, schedule, doctor, pain, help.
You must look at the English dictionary and only pull out the tools that you actually need for your specific daily life.
Yes. If you do not talk about a topic in your native language, ignore it in English for now.
That makes the task so much smaller. Okay, so we have picked our personal words. What is step 2 in the practical plan?
Step 2 is an absolute, unbreakable rule for our learners. You must never, ever learn a word by itself.
No lonely words.
Exactly. We do not allow lonely words.
Oh.
You must always learn words inside a real context, which means learning them inside a complete sentence.
Let us explore why lonely words fail. Many students have a habit of buying a beautiful new notebook. They draw a straight line down the middle of the paper.
I have seen that many times.
On the left side, they write the English word. Let us use the word arrive.
Right.
A-R-R-I-V-E.
Arrive.
On the right side of the line, they write the translation in their native language, or they write the dictionary definition to reach a destination. They stare at this notebook. Arrive means to reach a destination. Arrive means to reach a destination. But when they are standing in a coffee shop trying to talk to a friend, they freeze. They cannot use the word.
Just disappears.
Why does the brain fail them in that moment?
Because the brain stores information like a giant spider web, not like a filing cabinet.
A spider web.
Yes. When you memorize a word by itself, it is like a single loose thread. There are no other connections holding it in place. So under pressure, the thread just blows away.
That makes so much sense.
But when you learn a word inside a complete sentence, you are attaching that new thread to a dozen other threads. You are giving the brain context, rhythm, and grammar all at once.
So instead of writing arrive equals to reach a destination, what should the learner write in their notebook?
They should write a sentence about their actual real morning. I usually arrive at the office at 9 o'clock.
Let me say the rhythm of that again. I usually arrive at the office at 9 o'clock.
Yes, say it slowly.
I usually arrive at the office at 9 o'clock.
By doing this, you are not just learning the verb arrive. You are learning the preposition at, you are learning how to state the time, and you are attaching it to your personal memory of walking into your office. The web is strong.
I have a very practical, actionable tip for our listeners regarding these context sentences.
Oh, what was it?
When you write your personal sentence in your notebook, take out your mobile phone. Open your voice recording app, hit the red record button, and speak the sentence out loud into the phone.
I have to challenge you on that tip.
Really, why?
We know that language learners feel highly vulnerable. Hearing your own recorded voice is incredibly uncomfortable for almost everyone. It feels awkward. People cringe when they hear themselves. Is it really necessary to force them to record themselves?
You are absolutely right that it feels awkward at first, but you have to push through that initial discomfort.
You really think so?
Yes. That feeling of cringing is actually your ear detecting the difference between the English in your head and the English coming out of your mouth. Recording yourself acts as your own personal private teacher. Ah, I see what you mean.
When you listen back, you will instantly hear if you mumbled a word or if you forgot a preposition. You catch your own mistakes in a safe environment.
That is true. It is a safe space.
And the greatest benefit is the confidence boost. If you keep those recordings and you listen to them 3 months later, you will hear a dramatic improvement in your pronunciation. You will have physical proof that you are getting better.
When you explain it like that, the temporary awkwardness is definitely worth the long-term confidence. The recording becomes a tool for growth.
Exactly. Let us move to step 3.
Step 3 is about expanding your abilities without expanding your effort. I call this the building blocks method.
I love this concept. It reminds me of the syntax of language. When I was a child, I played with wooden blocks.
Yeah, building blocks.
You put one square block down, then you snap another block onto it, then another. Soon you have a solid wall. How does this apply to vocabulary?
Language is highly modular. It is built in pieces. Let us take 5 very simple high-frequency words that almost all learners already know. Okay, what are they?
Go, work, early, because, traffic.
Go, work, early because traffic.
These are 5 individual blocks. Let us snap them together to build a strong foundation sentence. I go to work early because of traffic.
I invite you to say that out loud with its natural rhythm. I go to work early because of traffic. Say it with me. I go to work early because of traffic.
That is a perfectly natural, native-sounding sentence. It gives an action, and it gives a reason.
Exactly. Now, let us pretend it is a week later. You have been studying, and you learned 2 new nouns, train and ticket.
Right, 2 new blocks.
You do not need to construct a brand new sentence from scratch to use them. You simply attach the new blocks to the strong foundation you already built.
Listen to how the sentence evolves. I go to work early because the train ticket is cheaper.
Let us analyze that. I go to work early because the train ticket is cheaper.
You kept the entire first half of the sentence.
Your brain does not have to work hard at all for the first 6 words because they were already automatic. You only had to focus your mental energy on adding the new blocks at the end.
That is the secret of the building block method. You are reducing cognitive friction, you are relying on the strong fluency pathways you already built, and just adding tiny new additions.
This brings us to step 4 of the practical plan, which is perhaps the most powerful tool for memory.
Step 4 is to tell a small, weekly story.
Why are stories so much better than lists?
Think about human history. For thousands of years, before humans invented writing or books, how did we pass down information?
We told stories around a fire.
Exactly. The human brain is biologically wired to remember narratives. A story connects facts with emotions, sequence, and time.
It is a natural way to learn.
When you tell a story, your brain stores the vocabulary much deeper than if you just read a textbook. Once a week, I challenge you to summarize a very basic event in your life using simple English.
Let me demonstrate what a small weekly story sounds like. I want you to listen to the extreme simplicity of these words.
Listen carefully.
Yesterday, I went to the supermarket. I bought fresh fruit, warm bread, and cold milk. I walked back to my house and cooked a large dinner. It was a very peaceful evening.
Let us break that narrative down. Look at the verbs you chose. Went, bought, walked, cooked, was.
All simple verbs.
These are the past tense forms of absolute core words. Go, buy, walk, cook, be. Look at the nouns. Supermarket, fruit, bread, milk, house, dinner, evening. These are everyday, tangible objects.
I'm going to read that simple story one more time with a slight pause between the sentences. I invite you to repeat the sentences out loud. Pay attention to how natural it feels.
Take your time with this.
Yesterday, I went to the supermarket.
Good.
I bought fresh fruit, warm bread, and cold milk.
Keep going.
I walked back to my house and cooked a large dinner.
One more sentence.
It was a very peaceful evening.
That story works perfectly because it proves a massive point. You successfully communicated a sequence of travel, commerce, food preparation, and emotional satisfaction, and you did it using less than 40 elementary words.
You painted a complete picture of human life without a single complex academic term.
But I need to pause here and bring up a very real fear that adult learners have.
What is that fear?
I have heard this from many intelligent professionals. They say, I am a manager at my company. I am an intelligent adult. If I travel to an English-speaking country and I use simple words like went and bought and good, I will sound like a child.
I hear that a lot.
They think native speakers use sophisticated, highly advanced vocabulary, and they will judge me for sounding basic. How do we address this deep fear of judgment?
We address it by exposing a massive myth about native speakers. The truth is, native speakers are highly efficient and honestly quite lazy in their daily communication.
That is so true.
We do not walk through our daily lives speaking like Shakespeare or writing poetry. When a native English speaker walks into a cafe to buy a drink, they do not say, "Greetings, my good sir. I have a strong desire to purchase a caffeinated beverage of your highest quality."
No, absolutely not.
They walk to the counter and say, "Hey, how's it going? I'll just have a large coffee, please."
That is incredibly true. When I meet my friends on the weekend, I do not say, I am experiencing severe physical fatigue. I just say, man, I am so tired today.
Native speakers rely on the exact same core vocabulary that we are teaching right now. Using simple sentences does not make you sound childish. It makes you sound direct, clear, and confident.
To truly understand why simple is better, we can look at a famous economic principle called the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. Have you heard of this?
Yes, the 80-20 rule. The Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto noticed that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the people. And then people realized this rule applies to almost everything in life. 80% of a company's sales come from 20% of their clients. 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. How does this connect to language?
In the English language, the massive dictionary with its hundreds of thousands of words represents 100% of the total language.
Okay, 100%.
But mastering the core 300 to 1,000 words represents only a tiny 20% of your learning effort. By putting your intense focus on that tiny 20%, you unlock 80 to 90% of your total communication power.
It is the ultimate shortcut.
It is. You get massive, life-changing results from a small, highly targeted effort.
Let me offer an analogy to make the 80-20 rule perfectly clear for our listeners. Let us talk about the chemistry of cooking.
Oh, I love food analogies.
Imagine you are invited into the kitchen of a 5-star restaurant. You open the chef's spice cabinet, and it is enormous. There are 100 different jars of rare spices.
Like a massive vocabulary.
Exactly. You see expensive saffron, you see cardamom, you see smoked paprika, you see star anise. A beginner might look at that cabinet and panic, thinking, I need to use all 100 spices to cook a good meal. I do not know how to combine cardamom and star anise.
Total overwhelm.
But watch what the master chef actually does. What do they reach for 95% of the time? They reach for salt, black pepper, olive oil, and garlic.
The basics.
Yes, these 4 fundamental ingredients are the absolute foundation of flavor. If you put a handful of rare saffron into a basic soup, it will ruin it. It will taste terrible. But if you deeply understand exactly how to balance salt, pepper, oil, and garlic, you can make almost any ingredient taste fantastic.
That is an exceptional comparison.
Yeah.
The English language is exactly like cooking. All those thousands of rare, difficult words in the dictionary are like saffron and cardamom.
Yes, they exist, but you might only use them once a year in a very specific situation.
But your core vocabulary words like make, take, get, time, day, people, good,
yeah.
bad, these are your salt, pepper, oil, and garlic. They're essential.
Once you master how to sprinkle your salt and pepper words smoothly into your sentences, everything you speak will sound delicious and natural to the native ear.
So we have established that we only need our salt and pepper words. We know we must personalize them, and we must learn them in the context of a sentence.
Now, the practical question arises. How much time is this going to take? Do our listeners need to sit at a desk under a bright lamp for 3 hours every evening studying grammar books?
Absolutely not. In fact, studying for hours and hours until you burn out is highly counterproductive.
Really? Why?
The human brain is not a computer hard drive. You cannot just force a download of endless data. The brain, specifically the hippocampus, needs time and rest to process short-term information and convert it into long-term memory.
So what is the golden rule?
The golden rule of language learning is consistency over intensity. You only need 15 to 25 minutes a day.
25 minutes a day, that sounds almost too good to be true. How do we extract maximum value from such a short amount of time? How should we divide those 25 minutes?
We divide it by spreading it out. We do not do it all at once. We break it into 3 tiny, highly focused sessions, morning, afternoon, and evening.
Okay, let us start with the morning routine.
This requires only 5 minutes. When you wake up, you do not need to sit at a desk. While you are boiling water for your tea, or while you are frying your eggs, just open your notebook.
Keep it simple.
Look at the 3 personal sentences you wrote the day before. Read them, and then speak them out loud 3 times while you cook.
So I am standing at the stove, making my breakfast, and I just say out loud, I usually arrive at the office at 9 o'clock. I'm combining my physical morning habit with my speaking habit. That takes 0 extra time out of my busy schedule. What happens next? What do we do in the afternoon?
In the afternoon, perhaps while you are commuting or taking your lunch break, spend just 10 minutes listening to comprehensible English. You can listen to our podcasts right here on the Learn and Talk English podcast.
What is the goal of the listening?
You are not listening with the goal of translating every single word perfectly. You are listening to absorb the natural rhythm and music of the language. More importantly, you are listening to trigger something we call the red car effect.
The red car effect, I love this phenomenon. The scientific name for it involves the reticular activating system in the brain, but the red car analogy is perfect. Let me explain it.
Please do.
Have you ever bought a new car? Let us imagine you buy a bright, shiny red car. Before you bought this car, you probably never paid attention to the color of cars on the road. They were just background noise.
Right.
But the very day you drive your new red car off the dealer's lot, suddenly magic happens. You look at the highway and you see red cars everywhere. You park at the store and there are 3 red cars next to you.
They are everywhere.
Did thousands of red cars suddenly appear in your city? No. The cars were always there. But your brain's filter, your reticular activating system, has suddenly decided that red cars are now highly important to my survival and identity, so it starts highlighting them for you.
The exact same filtering process happens with English vocabulary. If you spend your 5 minutes in the morning deeply focusing on the word project, you have just told your brain that project is your new red car.
Ah, I see.
During your 10-minute afternoon listening session, when the speaker in the audio says the word project, your brain will instantly highlight it. It will jump out at you. You will think, wow, I just learned that word.
That constant spotting of your core words in the wild reinforces the memory faster than anything else. That is the power of the afternoon listening session.
Okay, we did 5 minutes speaking in the morning, 10 minutes listening in the afternoon. How do we spend our final 10 minutes in the evening?
The evening is for consolidation. Right before you go to bed, spend 10 minutes doing your daily story. Just talk out loud to yourself for 1 minute, summarizing what you did that day using your core words.
And then what?
Then write down 2 or 3 new personal sentences in your notebook for tomorrow's morning review. That is it. That is the entire 25-minute daily routine: morning speaking, afternoon listening, evening storytelling, and prep.
Anyone, no matter how busy their career or family life is, can find 25 minutes scattered throughout the day.
But why does this specific daily repetition work so well? Let us look at the actual neuroscience of fluency. What is physically happening inside the brain when we repeat these sentences every day?
When you practice your core words daily, you are not just memorizing abstract concepts, you are physically altering the structure of your brain. Scientists call this creating fluency pathways.
Fluency pathways.
Through a process called myelination, your brain wraps a protective layer around the nerve connections you use most often, allowing the electrical signals to travel at lightning speed. To visualize this, let us step into a forest.
I love the forest analogy. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a dense, wild, overgrown forest. The trees are packed tightly together. Thick bushes and tall, sharp grass block your way.
A very messy forest.
The very first time you try to walk through this forest, there is no path. It is incredibly difficult and exhausting. You have to use your hands to break branches. You have to climb over large rocks. Your legs get scratched by the thorns. It takes you an immense amount of energy and time just to walk a few meters.
Yes.
This physical struggle is exactly what it feels like the very first time you try to construct a new sentence in English. Your brain is fighting through the thick grass, desperately searching for the right vocabulary and trying to remember the grammar rules. It feels slow and painful.
That is the perfect description of a beginner's brain. But what happens if you refuse to quit? What
Yeah.
happens if you walk that exact same route through the forest the next day?
It gets easier.
You step on the grass you already bent. You push the broken branches a little further away. What happens if you walk that exact same route every single day for 30 days?
After 30 days of constant walking, the tall grass is completely dead where you stepped. The heavy rocks have been kicked to the side. The thorny branches are gone.
You have compressed the soil into a clear, smooth dirt path. Now, when you want to cross the forest, you do not even have to think about it. You can walk quickly, easily, and painlessly.
That smooth dirt path is a fully myelinated fluency pathway in your brain. The first time you say, I usually arrive at the office, the neurons struggle to connect. But every single morning that you repeat it, the pathway becomes clearer, thicker, and faster.
Eventually, the electrical signal travels so quickly that the sentence leaves your mouth before you even consciously think about it. The struggle vanishes.
This sounds exactly like the concept of muscle memory. I want to ask our listeners to access a specific memory. Do you remember the very first time you sat in the driver's seat of a car to learn how to drive?
Oh, that is a scary memory for a lot of people.
Think back to that day. You felt nervous, your heart was probably beating fast. You had to use 100% of your conscious brain power to manage the vehicle.
You have to think about everything.
You thought to yourself, okay, check the left mirror. Now check the right mirror. Now put my right foot on the brake pedal. Now reach down and shift the gear. Now turn the steering wheel slightly. Now slowly move my foot to the gas.
Your brain was completely exhausted after just 10 minutes of driving because you were hyper-focused on every single mechanical step.
Exactly. You were exhausted because there was no fluency pathway for driving yet. You were in a state of conscious incompetence and moving into conscious competence. Every single action required deep, deliberate thought.
But think about how you drive your car today, years later. You get into the car in the morning, you turn on the radio and sing along to a song, you take a sip of your hot coffee. You are mentally planning your grocery list for the afternoon.
You were doing everything else except thinking about driving.
And suddenly, you pull into your parking space at work. You drove a heavy machine for 20 minutes at high speeds, and you did not consciously think about the mirrors, the brake pedal, or the steering wheel, even one single time.
Your hands and your feet simply performed the actions automatically. That is the magic of muscle memory.
Language acquisition is the exact same biological process. In the beginning, you are the nervous student driver. You have to consciously think about every English word. Do I use in or on here? Is the verb in the past tense?
It takes a lot of effort.
But with daily 25-minute repetition, speaking English shifts from a heavy mental calculation into automatic muscle memory for your tongue, your lips, and your brain. You stop translating the words from your native language.
The English words just flow out of you effortlessly, the same way you steer a car around a corner without thinking about your hands.
But there is a massive roadblock that stops so many adult learners from ever building these automatic pathways. It is the reason people quit.
What is that roadblock?
That roadblock is the deep, paralyzing fear of making mistakes. When we are learning to drive a car, we are terrified of mistakes because a mistake might mean a dangerous crash. So we are naturally conditioned to avoid errors at all costs.
How do we dismantle this fear when it comes to speaking a language?
We have to completely rewire our definition of what a mistake actually is. In traditional schools, students are taught that a mistake is a failure. A red X on a test means you are not smart enough.
We must throw that toxic mindset away today.
Yes. Mistakes are not your enemies. Mistakes are simply data. Mistakes are your most valuable teachers.
Can you break that down? How exactly does a grammar mistake act as a teacher?
Let us look at a real-world scenario. Imagine you are sitting in a cafe, telling a story to an English-speaking friend. You are excited and you say, I go to work yesterday and I see a dog.
Okay, incorrect grammar.
Your friend looks slightly confused for a second, but then their face relaxes and they say, oh, you went to work yesterday and saw a dog. That's cool. You made a clear grammatical mistake. You used the present tense verbs go and see instead of the past tense went and saw.
But what did that mistake actually accomplish?
First, it highlighted a gap in your knowledge. It provided you with pure data that says, tomorrow morning I need to review my past tense verbs. It gave you a map for your next study session.
And
Second, and most importantly, if you had let fear keep you silent, you never would have discovered that gap, You never would have improved.
And I want to share a secret that many language learners do not realize. Native speakers are absolutely not perfect.
Not at all.
When I am speaking naturally with my family or my colleagues, I make mistakes constantly. I say, and I completely forget the specific word I am searching for and have to describe it instead. Sometimes I start a sentence with one grammatical structure, realize halfway through that it is wrong, stop completely, and restart the sentence.
Native speakers are messy.
Yes. If we are not demanding absolute perfection from ourselves, we are certainly not demanding it from you. Perfection is a dangerous illusion. Perfection is never the goal. Human connection is the goal.
Connection and communication. Let us go back to the cafe example. You said, I go to work yesterday. It was grammatically incorrect. But did your friend understand you? Yes. Did you share a moment together?
Yes. The communication was 100% successful despite the imperfect grammar. Never let the fear of imperfect grammar silence your unique voice.
I completely agree. Connection is everything. Now, let us put all this theory into dynamic practice.
Yes, let us do some practice.
We're going to do an interactive exploration of high-value word combinations. This is where we prove how powerful your core vocabulary truly is. We're going to look at 3 of the hardest working, most modular verbs in the English language: make, take, and have.
These 3 verbs are what linguists sometimes call the lexicalized verbs or light verbs.
This means that by themselves, they don't have a highly specific, rigid meaning. Instead, they act like a base engine. When you attach a noun to them, they power the meaning of that noun.
We are going to explore how English uses these verbs.
I will explain the concept, and I invite you, the listener, to practice saying the word pairs out loud with us. Let us begin with the word make, M-A-K-E.
In English, we generally use the word make when we are creating something that did not exist before or producing a result. Let us look at food. We say, make breakfast.
You are taking raw ingredients like eggs and bread and creating a meal. I invite you to say it with us. Make breakfast.
Make breakfast. Let us put it in a context sentence. I make breakfast for my children every morning. Try saying the rhythm. I make breakfast for my children every morning.
We also use it for beverages. Make coffee. You are brewing the beans and creating the drink. Say it out loud. Make coffee.
Make coffee. The first thing I do is make coffee. Try saying it. The first thing I do is make coffee.
Moving to the evening, we say make dinner. Say it with us. Make dinner.
Usually make dinner at 6 o'clock. Say the sentence. We usually make dinner at 6 o'clock.
Now let us look at how make creates abstract concepts, not just food.
Yeah.
Make a mistake. You are producing an error.
Notice we do not say do a mistake. We say make a mistake. Say the pair out loud. Make a mistake.
Make a mistake. Do not be afraid to make a mistake. Say the sentence, do not be afraid to make a mistake.
How about relationships? We say make friends. You are actively creating a new bond with someone. Say it with us. Make friends.
Make friends. It is easy to make friends in this city. Try the sentence. It is easy to make friends in this city.
Let us look at career and wealth. We say make money. You are producing income through your labor. Say the pair. Make money.
Make money. He is working hard to make money for his family. Say it out loud. He is working hard to make money for his family.
And what about time management? We say make time. This means you are actively creating empty space in your busy schedule for something important. Say it with us. Make time.
Make time. I need to make time to call my mother. Try the rhythm. I need to make time to call my mother.
Take a moment to reflect on the power of what we just did. With just one single verb make, you have learned how to fluently describe cooking, committing errors, socializing, earning a living, and scheduling your day.
This modularity is why core vocabulary is the ultimate secret to fluency. Let us transition to the second powerful verb, the word take, T-A-K-E.
While make is about creation, we generally use take for experiences that we absorb, actions we perform upon ourselves, or movement.
Let us look at hygiene. We say take a shower. We do not say do a shower or make a shower. You are absorbing the experience of the water. I invite you to say it. Take a shower.
Take a shower. I always take a shower in the morning. Say the sentence. I always take a shower in the morning.
How about resting? We say take a break. You are pulling a moment of rest toward yourself. Say the pair. Take a break.
Take a break. You look exhausted. Let us take a break. Try the sentence. You look exhausted. Let us take a break.
What if someone is rushing and making mistakes? We say take your time. This means you possess the time. You do not need to hurry. Say it out loud. Take your time.
Take your time. There is no rush. Please take your time. Say the sentence. There is no rush. Please take your time.
We also use take for friendly farewells. Take care. This is a warm way to tell someone to keep themselves safe. Say the phrase, take care.
Take care. It was great seeing you. Take care. Try it naturally. It was great seeing you. Take care.
And in professional or serious situations, we say take responsibility. This means you pull the weight of a situation onto your own shoulders. Say the pair. Take responsibility.
Take responsibility. A good leader must take responsibility for the team. Say the sentence. A good leader must take responsibility for the team.
Excellent. Now let us move to the final essential verb in this triad, the word have. H-A-V-E. We use have to indicate possession or to describe experiencing a state or an event.
Let us return to food to show the contrast. Earlier we said make breakfast for the cooking process. But when you sit at the table to consume it, we say have breakfast.
You are experiencing the meal. I invite you to say it. Have breakfast.
Have breakfast. I like to have breakfast on the balcony. Say the sentence. I like to have breakfast on the balcony.
The same applies to the middle meal. Have lunch. Say it out loud. Have lunch.
Have a lunch. Let us have lunch together tomorrow. Try the rhythm. Let us have lunch together tomorrow.
And the evening meal. Have dinner. Say the pair. Have dinner.
Have dinner. They want to have dinner at a nice restaurant. Say the sentence. They want to have dinner at a nice restaurant.
How about in the workplace? We say have a meeting. You're experiencing a scheduled discussion. Say it with us. Have a meeting.
Have a meeting. I cannot talk right now. I have a meeting. Try the sentence. I cannot talk right now. I have a meeting.
For communication, we say have a conversation. You're engaging in a dialogue. Say it out loud. Have a conversation.
Have a conversation. We need to sit down and have a conversation. Say the sentence. We need to sit down and have a conversation.
And finally, for enjoyment, we say have fun. You are experiencing joy. Say the phrase have fun.
Have fun. Enjoy your vacation and have fun. Say it out loud. Enjoy your vacation and have fun.
And this is truly eye-opening. Make, take, and have. Just 3 small, unassuming words. But by deeply understanding how they pair with other nouns, you have built the architectural framework for your entire life. You can talk about your hygiene, your meals, your work life, your rest, and your social interactions.
We have discussed the mechanics of words, the neuroscience of memory, and the practical routines, but I want to elevate this conversation to the psychological level. We need to talk about the psychology of success and how we conquer the anxiety that defeats so many learners.
This is a crucial topic. I have spoken to many people who tell me that the mere thought of speaking English makes them feel physically ill.
Physically ill, like sick.
Yes. Their hands shake, their chest gets tight, they feel intensely nervous when a native speaker makes eye contact with them, and they are deeply embarrassed about their natural accent.
That sounds awful.
In linguistics, this is often called the affective filter. These negative emotions act like an invisible wall, a heavy chain that blocks the language from leaving their mouth, no matter how much they studied.
That emotional burden, that high affective filter is very real, and it is the primary reason adults quit learning. But the methodology we are discussing today, focusing intensely on just 300 core words, is actually the psychological cure for this anxiety.
How so?
Because it eliminates chaos and provides a bright, clearly lit path. Think about it. When your goal is, I need to memorize the entire dictionary, you wake up every morning feeling lost in a fog. You ask yourself, what should I do today? Should I study verbs? Should I read a grammar book? Should I watch a movie?
That constant decision, fatigue, and confusion breeds anxiety.
But with our 25-minute core word method, the fob disappears. You wake up and you know exactly, precisely what you have to do. The mission is beautifully simple.
Review your 3 personal sentences while making coffee. Listen for 10 minutes on your commute to trigger the red car effect. Tell a 1-minute story before bed.
Knowing exactly what the daily mission is creates a profound feeling of calm. The chaos is replaced by control.
And when you feel in control, you trigger a highly motivating chemical reaction inside your brain. We are gamifying the learning process using what is called the dopamine loop. Let us explain the neurochemistry in simple, accessible terms.
Okay, let us break it down.
Dopamine is a neurotransmitter in your brain. It is often referred to as the reward chemical or the motivation molecule.
How does the release of dopamine relate to writing down English sentences?
The brain is programmed to release dopamine whenever you achieve a clear, defined goal. When you set a massive, impossible goal like become fluent in 3 months, you never reach it, so you never get the dopamine. You just get frustrated. But let us say your goal is micro-sized. Tonight, I will write 3 simple sentences using the word make. You sit down at your table, you write the 3 sentences, you close the notebook. Instantly, your brain recognizes the completion of the task and releases a small rush of dopamine. You feel a genuine sense of satisfaction and pride.
I know exactly what that feels like. It is the same feeling you get when you physically cross an item off a handwritten checklist. The brain says, excellent job, that felt highly rewarding. Let us repeat that behavior tomorrow.
That is the dopamine loop. Set a micro goal, achieve it, get the dopamine reward, and feel the desire to repeat the action. When you engage in this loop every single day, your entire self-identity shifts.
You stop waking up and thinking the toxic thought, my English is terrible, I have a mountain to climb. Instead, you wake up and think, my English is actively improving. I successfully wrote 3 great sentences yesterday, and I am excited to write 3 more today.
The narrative changes. Learning stops feeling like a heavy, punishing chore. It starts feeling like an engaging game where you level up your skills every single day.
And that positive, forward-moving mindset is the absolute best weapon against anxiety. When you are focused on collecting your small daily wins, the fear of judgment simply vanishes.
Now that our mindset is confident and our tools are sharp, let us take our English out of the notebook and into the real world. Let us look at real-life survival English.
This is the pragmatics of language, how to navigate social situations smoothly. I want to set a scene for us.
Paint the picture.
Imagine that I am traveling to a busy English-speaking city for a vacation. I have my luggage, I am a little tired from the flight, and I am stepping out into the crowds. What core skeletal phrases do I absolutely need to survive, be polite, and enjoy my trip? Let us break this down geographically.
Let us begin at the starting line of your journey, the airport. Airports are chaotic, loud, and confusing environments. You do not have the time or energy for complex grammar debates here.
You need direct survival phrases.
The most important phrase to ask for directions is, excuse me, where is? I invite you to say the rhythm. Excuse me, where is? This is a modular frame. You can snap any destination onto the end of it. Excuse me, where is the bathroom? Excuse me, where is gate number 7? Excuse me, where is the taxi stand?
It is polite and immediate. Let us practice that out loud. Excuse me, where is the bathroom?
Good.
Now, what if something goes wrong? What if your ticket will not scan or you cannot find your luggage? Here is your crucial distress phrase. Can you help me, please? Let us say it together. Can you help me, please?
If you are lost, find an official worker, make eye contact, and use this simple phrase. Try it out loud. Can you help me, please?
And perhaps the most vital phrase for any learner dealing with fast-speaking natives, I do not understand. A massive mistake learners make is smiling and nodding when they have no idea what was just said.
Do not pretend. It is perfectly okay to be confused. Look at the person confidently and say, I do not understand. Please speak slowly. I invite you to practice this boundary-setting phrase. I do not understand. Please speak slowly.
Excellent. We survived the chaos of the airport. We grabbed a taxi, and we have arrived at our next location, the hotel. We are carrying our heavy bags, and we approach the front desk clerk. How do we initiate this transaction smoothly?
You start by establishing your status with a simple fact. I have a reservation. Let us say the rhythm. I have a reservation. This instantly tells the clerk that you are in their computer system and they need to look up your name. Practice saying it confidently. I have a reservation.
Well, once they find your name, you need access to your room. You ask, can I have my room key, please? Listen to the polite request structure. Can I have my room key, please? Just try saying it out loud. Can I have my room key, please?
And before you leave the desk, you must ask the most important question for your morning survival. What time is breakfast? Say with us. What time is breakfast?
Simple and effective. We slept wonderfully at the hotel. We wake up, we leave the lobby, and we walk down the street to a local cafe. Our next location is the restaurant. The waiter smiles and hands us a menu. How do we order our food using our core vocabulary without sounding rude?
This is where we introduce the ultimate, polite skeleton key of the English language. I would like. I invite you to say it. I would like. This phrase is universally polite. You simply point to the item on the menu and say, I would like the chicken with rice, please. Or, I would like a large cup of black coffee, please. Practice the flow of that phrase. I would like the chicken, please.
I really want to emphasize something profound here regarding restaurant interactions. In advanced academic English textbooks, you might find a whole chapter teaching you adjectives like exquisite, delectable, or mouth-watering to describe delicious food.
You absolutely don't need to use these words.
If you use them, you will actually sound unnatural, like you are reading from a novel. When the waiter comes to your table and asks how the food is, just smile warmly and say, this is delicious, or even simpler, this is very good. Direct, clear communication delivered with a smile always beats fancy, complicated vocabulary.
That is exactly right on social pragmatics. This is delicious is the perfect response. And when your plate is empty and it is time to leave, you need to initiate the payment. Look at the waiter and use the have structure we learned earlier. Can I have the bill, please? Say the rhythm with us. Can I have the bill, please? And of course, conclude every transaction by simply saying thank you.
We have eaten a fantastic meal. Now we decide to walk to a public park and sit on a bench. The person next to us smiles, and we want to be social. Let us talk about our final real-world scenario meeting people. How do we initiate a basic, friendly conversation with a stranger?
Human connection starts with a smile and a simple offering of your identity. Hi, my name is... Let us say it naturally. Hi, my name is David. I invite you to practice offering your name out loud. Hi, my name is...
Once they reply with their name, you show social respect by saying, "Nice to meet you." Notice the rhythm, "Nice to meet you." Try saying it warmly, "Nice to meet you."
To keep the conversation flowing, you need to show interest in their life. A standard, polite question is, where are you from? Say it with us. Where are you from?
You can also inquire about their daily life and profession. We use the phrase, "What do you do?" This is the natural way native speakers ask about your job. Listen to the rhythm. What do you do? Practice asking it out loud. What do you do?
And when it is time to share your own passions and hobbies, you rely on simple emotion verbs, I love, or I enjoy, or I am interested in. For example, you can say, I love reading historical books. I enjoy playing football on the weekends. I'm interested in street photography. These highly simple phrases are the bridges that allow you to connect with anyone, anywhere in the world as a fellow human being.
That survival English is incredibly practical. If you master those basic modular phrases, you can confidently travel to any English-speaking city, navigate the logistics, and make new friends.
However, as learners walk this path, there are hidden traps they might fall into.
We need to act as their guides and point out the dangers. Let us discuss the common mistakes to avoid. What is the first major trap a learner should watch out for?
The first major mistake is reverting back to learning lists without context. We touched on this during our 4-step plan, but it is so destructive to progress that it warrants a deeper warning. Memorizing raw, disconnected lists of words is a direct pathway to forgetting.
If you force yourself to memorize a list of 50 animal names or 50 items of clothing today, science shows that you'll forget 45 of them by next week.
The brain is highly efficient. It aggressively deletes information that is not anchored to a real-life context or an emotion. You must actively resist the temptation to just read the dictionary. Always demand a full sentence. Do not just try to learn the isolated word dog. Learn the visual sentence, the brown dog runs happily in the park. Give your brain a movie to watch, not a spreadsheet to read.
The second massive trap is what I call the syndrome of the silent learner. This is the person who's been studying English for 5 years. They read English news articles perfectly. They watch English movies with the subtitles turned off. They know more about complex grammar rules than most native speakers do, but they never, ever open their mouth to speak.
They are waiting.
They tell themselves, I will start speaking to people as soon as I feel perfectly ready, as soon as my accent is flawless.
And what is the tragic reality for the silent learner?
The reality is that they remain silent forever, because the magical feeling of being perfectly ready never arrives. It is a mirage. You will never wake up one morning feeling 100% ready to speak a foreign language perfectly. You have to open your mouth and speak long before you feel ready.
Exactly. The cure for the silent learner syndrome is to speak from day one. And here's the secret. You do not need a native conversation partner to practice speaking. You can speak to yourself.
You can use a technique called submocalization or simply narrating your life out loud.
As you walk around your private house, be the narrator of your own documentary. When you are in the kitchen, say out loud, I am walking to the coffee machine. The water's getting hot. I'm pouring the water into the cup. When you leave for work, say, I am opening the front door. The sun is very bright today. I am walking to my car.
It might feel a little bit ridiculous at first to talk to yourself. What are you actually doing? You are actively forcing your mouth to build those physical myelinated pathways we discussed. You are bridging the gap between passive reading and active speaking.
That is fantastic advice. Narrate your life. That brings us to the third common trap. Trying to learn too much, too fast. We see this all the time with highly motivated, excited students. They declare, I'm going to drink 5 cups of coffee, study English for 4 straight hours today, and memorize 50 new words. Why is this sudden burst of intense motivation actually a dangerous trap?
It is a trap because it ignores the biological limits of the human brain. Yes, you might be able to temporarily force those 50 words into your short-term memory for a few hours. You might pass a vocabulary quiz that afternoon, but by the time you wake up the next morning, those words will have evaporated like water on hot pavement.
Learning 50 words in a shallow way is useless for actual communication. It is infinitely more powerful to learn just 10 words deeply. 10 words that you fully own, that you can use automatically in a fluid sentence, are far more valuable than 50 words you only vaguely recognize on a multiple-choice test. You have to pace yourself. Language learning is not a frantic sprint. It is a slow, steady daily walk. Do not try to rush the biological process of memory consolidation.
Let us zoom out and look at the beautiful big picture. We are looking at the long-term vision. We have thoroughly discussed daily routines, core modular words, the brain science, and how to avoid the traps. Now, I want to bring all of these concepts together into one powerful, continuous demonstration.
I want to perform a full daily routine narrative using only our basic core words. I want you, the listener, to hear the rhythm of how natural and complete simple English can sound when it describes a full 24-hour human day. I will say one sentence describing an action, and then my expert friend will continue the story with the next action, back and forth. Let us show our listeners exactly how much life you can express with basic tools.
I am ready. Let us paint the picture of a normal day. I will initiate the morning routine. I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I get out of bed and walk slowly to the bathroom.
I brush my teeth and wash my face with cold water to wake up.
I walk into the bright kitchen.
I make a hot cup of black coffee.
I cook 2 eggs in a pan and eat my breakfast.
I check my mobile phone for messages from my family and friends.
I go back to my bedroom and get dressed for the day.
I put on my comfortable shoes and grab my work bag.
I leave my house, lock the door, and walk to the busy bus stop.
I take the yellow bus to my office building in the center of the city.
I arrive at work at 8:30 in the morning.
I turn on my computer and read through my new emails.
I attend a long meeting with my team to discuss a project.
I drink a cold glass of water because I am thirsty.
At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I take a well-deserved break.
I have a simple sandwich and an apple for lunch.
I finish all my work tasks at 5 o'clock.
I say goodbye to my coworkers and take the bus back home.
I arrive home and feel a little bit tired from the long day.
I change out of my work clothes and put on something comfortable.
I cook chicken and rice in the kitchen for my dinner.
I sit on the soft sofa and eat my food while I relax.
After I finish dinner, I wash the dirty plates in the sink.
I turn on the television and watch an interesting movie.
I talk to my family about what happened during our day.
At 10 o'clock at night, I go to bed, close my eyes, and sleep.
That was a fantastic sequence. Think about what we just accomplished. That back-and-forth narrative described a complete, holistic human day. It covered personal hygiene, food preparation, public transportation, professional duties, and evening relaxation. And we executed that entire story using almost entirely core, high-frequency vocabulary. There were no difficult, obscure academic words hidden in that story. Everything was direct and clear. If a listener practices creating that exact kind of running narrative about their own life, what happens over time? What are the actual milestones they will experience? Let us say the listener follows our 25-minute daily plan. What tangible changes happen after 3 months of this consistent practice?
After 3 solid months, 3 very distinct, highly noticeable milestones occur. First, your speaking speed naturally increases. Right now, in the beginning, when you try to speak, you might pause for 5 awkward seconds while your brain furiously searches for the correct word. After 3 months of daily myelination, those long pauses begin to disappear. The words become automatic because the physical fluency pathways are now formed. Second, your listening comprehension improves dramatically. When a native speaker talks to you, your brain instantly recognizes the core words without any conscious effort. You stop trying to mentally translate the English sentence back into your native language, and you simply begin to absorb the meaning directly.
And what is the third milestone they will experience after 90 days?
The third milestone is the most emotionally rewarding one. Your internal confidence grows. You will suddenly realize, wow, I just had a 2-minute, unscripted conversation in English with a stranger, and I did not panic. I actually enjoyed it. That newfound confidence creates a beautiful, positive feedback cycle. Because you feel confident, you are willing to practice more. Because you practice more, your skills get better. Because your skills get better, you feel even more confident. The cycle feeds itself, pushing you forward effortlessly.
Now let us cast our vision even further into the future. What happens after 6 months to a full year of daily, consistent 25-minute practice? What is the ultimate long-term goal we are aiming for here?
After 6 to 12 months, you will experience a profound shift that linguists sometimes call the fluency breakthrough.
The fluency breakthrough. That sounds like a major life event. What does it actually feel like inside the mind?
It is an incredible, liberating moment. The fluency breakthrough is the exact moment when the English language stops feeling like a strange, foreign puzzle that you have to solve, and instead it begins to feel like a natural extension of who you are. The biggest, most obvious sign of this breakthrough is that you start thinking in English. You look out the window at a tree, and your internal voice simply says tree instead of the word in your native language. You might even wake up and realize you just had a vivid dream where the people were speaking English. Because you took the time to build a rock-solid foundation of core words, like building the deep, concrete foundation of a house, everything that comes after becomes incredibly easy and stable.
But wait, when you have that solid foundation built, how do you actually learn the thousands of more advanced words that are out there? How do you move beyond the core 1,000 words? Do you finally have to go back to buying a dictionary and memorizing long lists?
No, absolutely not. You never go back to rote memorization lists. Instead, you transition to using a powerful scientific concept in linguistics known as comprehensible input. This was famously proposed by the linguist Stephen Krashen.
Comprehensible input. That sounds like a heavy academic term. Can we break that down into plain English for our listeners?
Of course, comprehensible simply means able to be understood. Input means information going into your brain, like reading a book or listening to a podcast. Comprehensible input means you deliberately expose yourself to English content that is just slightly above your current comfort level. We call this the Goldilocks zone or the I+1 level. The content is not too easy, so your brain does not get bored and stop paying attention. But it's also not too hard, so you do not get frustrated and quit. It is just one tiny step above where you are. It is just right.
I want to provide a visual analogy for how comprehensible input works in real life. Imagine you're reading an English news article online. Because you have diligently practiced your core vocabulary for the last 6 months, you easily understand 95% of the words in the article. You recognize the verbs, the nouns, and the sentence structure. Then you encounter this sentence. The dog was digging in the dirt to bury a large bone. Let's pretend for a moment that you've never seen the word bury before. B-U-R-Y, bury. Because you deeply own the surrounding words, dog, digging, dirt, and bone, your brain automatically shifts into detective mode. Your brain analyzes the context and says, okay, the dog is putting the bone into the dirt. Therefore, the mystery word bury must mean the action of hiding something under the ground. Boom. You just acquired a brand new advanced vocabulary word, and you did it without ever touching a dictionary. You guessed the meaning perfectly from the surrounding context.
Exactly. That is the absolute magic of comprehensible input. Because you deeply know the core words, those core words act like a net that helps you catch the new unknown words. It creates a massive phenomenon known as the snowball effect.
The snowball effect. Imagine you are standing at the very top of a long, steep hill covered in fresh snow. You pack a small handful of snow into a tight, dense ball. This small, compact snowball represents your core vocabulary. It is small, but it is solid. You place the snowball on the ground and roll it down the hill. At first, it rolls slowly. But as it rolls, the sticky surface picks up more and more snow. It gets bigger and heavier. Soon, the snowball is massive, and it is rolling down the hill entirely by itself, gaining incredible speed. You do not even have to push it anymore. It has generated its own unstoppable momentum.
That is the perfect visualization of how advanced language learning works. In the very beginning, you have to exert effort to pack the snowball and push it. You have to be disciplined and do your 25 minutes of daily practice to build the core. But after you cross the fluency breakthrough, learning new words becomes entirely effortless. You absorb new vocabulary just by watching a movie for fun, just by having a laugh with a friend, or just by reading a novel before bed. The snowball is rolling itself, picking up advanced words automatically, and your English gets continuously better without you even feeling like you are studying.
That is a deeply inspiring vision of the future. Knowing that a small, focused daily effort leads directly to effortless automatic fluency is the greatest motivation possible. We are coming to the end of our deep exploration today. But as your teachers, we cannot let you leave this lesson without giving you a highly actionable task. We have designed a special 30-day practical challenge for you, the listener.
We want you to take immediate action the moment this audio finishes. Do not wait for tomorrow. Get a physical paper notebook and a pen. I want you to actively think about your specific life and write down 10 common words that you use every single day. Think about your morning routine, your specific job, your family dynamics, the food you eat, and how you relax. Choose 10 words that hold personal meaning for you.
Once you have your 10 personal words written down, use the building block method we taught you to create 5 simple, true sentences about your reality. For example, you might write, I wake up early in the morning because the house is quiet. Or, I drink a cup of black coffee before I start my work.
Now, here's the most crucial part of the daily challenge. You must say those 5 sentences out loud, speaking slowly and clearly. Say them 3 times in a row. Pay very close attention to how the muscles in your mouth and tongue feel. Notice how the very first time you say the sentence, it might feel a little slow or clunky, but notice how the third time you say it, the words flow much easier. That physical feeling of ease is the literal sensation of your brain building the myelin fluency pathway. You are feeling your brain upgrade itself in real time.
Tomorrow, open the notebook again.
Yeah.
Add 5 more personal words to your list, create a few new sentences, and most importantly, review yesterday's sentences out loud. If you commit to doing this small, simple 5-minute morning task every single day for the next 30 days, you will deeply permanently own 150 vital core words. You will have poured the unbreakable concrete foundation for your English house.
Let us take a moment to summarize everything we have unpacked today. Let us gather all of the most critical principles so you can carry them forward. First, always remember the statistics to kill the overwhelm. You do not need thousands of words to survive. 75% of daily conversation comes from just 300 words. Let go of the heavy dictionary and relax your mind.
Second, shift your focus from quantity to quality. Focus deeply on owning your core tools. Remember the heavy toolbox. It is useless to collect tools if you never swing the hammer. Practice high-value, modular words like make, take, and get until their collocations are completely automatic in your mouth.
Third, respect the spider web of the brain. Never learn lonely, isolated words. Always write complete sentences about your actual emotional life. Connect the new English vocabulary directly to your personal memories to lock them in permanently.
Fourth, rely on consistency, not exhausting intensity. Protect your brain from burnout. Practice for just 25 minutes a day. 5 minutes speaking out loud in the morning, 10 minutes listening in the afternoon to activate the reticular activating system and the red card effect, and 10 minutes telling a small story about your day in the evening.
And finally, profoundly change your relationship with failure. Embrace your mistakes. Stop fearing judgment. Recognize that grammatical mistakes are just data points. They're your greatest teachers. They shine a light exactly on where the dirt path in the forest needs to be cleared next. Remind yourself daily that perfection is an illusion. Human connection is your true and only goal.
Before we say our final goodbyes, my expert friend has a final provocative thought to leave you with. Something deep for you to meditate on as you go about your day and continue your learning journey.
Yes, I want to leave you with this liberating idea. Your journey with the English language is deeply, wonderfully personal. It belongs entirely to you. Please do not look at native speakers on television and feel bad about your accent. Do not look at the other advanced students in your class and bitterly compare your progress to theirs. They are walking their own unique path through the forest, and you are walking yours. There's only one person on this entire planet you should ever compare yourself to. That person is who you were yesterday. Ask yourself this one simple, powerful question every single night before you go to sleep. Am I just a little bit better at English today than I was yesterday? Did you learn one single new phrase? Did you speak one full sentence out loud in your kitchen? If the answer is yes, then you are succeeding. You are winning the game. Stacking those small daily successes is the true, undeniable secret to lifelong fluency.
What a beautiful, encouraging, and deeply true thought. Thank you so much for sharing that profound wisdom with us today, and thank you, our dedicated listener, for spending this valuable time with us. Please subscribe and like this episode. We genuinely want to hear from you. Leave a comment below telling us one complete sentence about your day in English. Tell us what you had for breakfast, or how you traveled to work, or what you were doing tonight. We read the comments, and we love seeing the evidence of your progress.
Remember to follow and listen to our podcast right here on the Learn and Talk English podcast. We are completely dedicated to your success. Keep practicing, keep stepping forward on that manageable staircase, and keep believing in your own potential. You have the absolute power to do this. You do not need perfection. You just need clear, confident communication.
On this channel, Learn and Talk English, we are providing high-quality educational material to help you succeed in the real world. Be incredibly proud of the effort and focus you put in today. Goodbye for now, and we will see you in the next lesson.
Goodbye, everyone. Stay confident, trust the process, and keep speaking.